What is up, guys? In today's video we have an inside the mind style video. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts and decisions as I play in Fortnite Zero Build. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like some more, and comment down below what your hopes are for the upcoming 7 update, because we should be seeing more content from the 7 in an upcoming update. I think it's supposed to be this week, but who knows with Fortnite. But there is now a rocket over here at Classified Canyon. I always forget the name of this place. But there is a rocket here. And if you guys remember in the OG rocket launch event, it created like a red rift in the sky in the OG Season 4. And then that red rift recently appeared in the sky on the Chapter 7 map. And then that rocket came through. So that is how the 7 have kind of returned to the Fortnite storyline. Have been through the altered events in the OG seasons, which is pretty interesting that they're kind of tying it all together. But there is the rocket, and as I said, we should be seeing more content from the 7 coming to the game at some point between now and the end of the season. And if you guys are wondering who the 7 are, it's like kind of the main good guy faction from the Fortnite storyline. We also did get one of the blue POIs here this game, which is nice. That means we have an increased chance of getting blue rare chests here. We're going to get pushed by this guy immediately off the rip. So I'm just trying to get to like some sort of... What is my gun sounding like this for? Anyways, I thought this guy was going to be pushing me, so I was just trying to get to like some sort of right shoulder peak. That way we would have the advantage there. Fighting SMG versus shotgun can be really rough off spawn if he just hits like a hard shot, because I haven't had a chance to get shield yet. But just immediately getting to a right shoulder peak rather than fighting him straight up on the top there is what allowed me to win that fight. And that's like one of those things where it's not hard to do, it's not complicated, but like the little decisions you make like that in a fight can be such a game changer in terms of just like making your fights easier. And I think that's one thing that can often go somewhat overlooked if you're just watching somebody who's good at the game. What they usually do is just consistently make fights easy for themselves. Like if you watch somebody really good at the game, you're like, wow, every fight looks super easy. It's because they're setting it up that way. Just not putting yourself in terrible situations or making little decisions like that correctly to make your life a bit easier makes your fights easier. And the more you do that over the course of the game, like the easier your match is going to be. And I feel like that goes with anything. Like it's not just Fortnite. You watch somebody like really skilled doing something, it's always going to look easier. And some of that is like, you know, the individual skill, but also a lot of it is just making it easier for themselves because they have that understanding. Come out of here with full shockwaves, basically. The Tiger teleportation mask was vaulted in the most recent update, which is pretty sad. I really liked that item, but luckily shockwaves have like a high enough spawn rate to where it really isn't the end of the world to me that it's gone. The times I notice it gone most, or like kind of miss it most, are definitely going to be when dealing with the lock on AR, because the fact that you could just quickly change direction and go somewhere completely different with the teleportation mask made it kind of ideal for playing into the lock on AR, whereas like shockwaves and the wingsuit, you can get away from the lock on AR sometimes, but it's just not as guaranteed. Like the lock on AR kind of has more say in it. We can go back down here and activate this computer to fly out of here. I was just coming back up top to I don't think this is how I get this chest. Yeah, I've like never loot this part. Where is it though, for real? Okay. I was just going back up top to buy some big pots from the vending machine, is what I was trying to say before I got distracted by that chest. In this update, they did also add these blue POIs, which is something I kind of touched on, but like Classified Canyon is blue this game, and that means it has like an increased chance of giving rare chests, which worked out good for me because I kind of wanted to land here to talk about the 7 stuff and the potential upcoming 7 update, and then we just happened to get this as a blue POI, on top of the fact that it has several rare chests guaranteed in that bottom part there. And so now we've had a very good start to the game. I have 8 shockwaves, which is kind of what I prefer to use with the mask being gone. I don't really mind just running 2 stacks of shockwaves, which is something I was kind of doing already anyways, because the mask didn't have the greatest spawn rate. There was a lot of games where like I had to just run double shocks because I hadn't found a mask yet. I just seen somebody shockwaving over here. He got up to the top rock. This is like really bad for me. But this would also be a time where I would miss the teleportation mask. Fighting people on this rock was so much easier when you could teleport up there. Because like what I could do right now is throw a portal and then kind of already have it waiting up there for an opportunity I get a beam. So like we get 60 damage there. And I could have already just been teleporting up there, pressuring him. We'll see if he overpeaks us. Yeah, okay, this is so bad for him. I don't know if I quite get up there. We've hit him a lot. This is like a... Okay. Nice. I was going to say, this is a bad push. Just like ziplining up on somebody like that is a terrible decision. But the amount of damage I had on him made me okay with making that bad decision. If I hadn't done any damage to him yet, I wouldn't have been pushing like that. But I had already hit him like 60 and then another 60-ish and then like 100 something off my pump, I think. Like close to 100. He was very minuscule health, and then that's why you saw him go down on just a few tags of the SMG. There was fighting over here as well. I don't remember what I was talking about before I fought that guy. I think just the fact that I like to carry double shockwave now, usually. Bunkers and bubbles can also be very good, especially later on in the game. There's some matches where I end up kind of dropping a stack of bubbles or a stack of shocks for bunkers in the end game, just because it's like a zone where bunkers are really useful. But the lock on AR can be kind of menacing, and bunkers and bubbles can be something that really help versus that, especially in the end game. If you start getting locked on and you don't know where they are like that, you can just bubble. And it is a temporary kind of solution because the bubble will eventually dissipate, but it's fine. I could have gotten more damage on him here. I don't think... Okay. I was going to say, I don't think he can lock onto me when I'm in the car. So this car allows me to kill the driver from the passenger seat, which is why I use it. There's a few car models in the game that do this. And just depending on the angle, you can just shoot like that. I got in the car right there when he shockwaved on me because I thought he was trying to shockwave and then just spray me with the lock on AR. And I'm decently sure if you're in the car, they can't lock onto you. Or maybe it's just like if the window's there. I don't know. When I was using the lock on AR for a video, I couldn't just like spray. I couldn't lock onto the guy in the car. And then also if someone's trying to hop on you with dual shotguns like that, making it a car fight rather than a fight where y'all are just like spamming shotgun shots on each other is much better. Shockwave to this bush and see if he chases me. I was like waiting for him to drop down here so I could shockwave up to this. I don't know if I wanted to shockwave to that or here, but the way he pushed down made me want to go to here. I probably should have just pushed him there. We hit him 60 damage, but that's gone now. And it was like kind of all fake damage too. Like most of it just went to overshield. We'll see what he does now. It's also kind of a waste of a big pot to drink it for that much, but it's fine. I have so much gold that I'm sure I can buy more later. I might fake like I'm going to drive away in this car and see if he peeks off it. I'm just going it. Again, 30 damage is not a lot, but I want this fight to be done with. Just continuing to be in this fight for an eternity is also not good. And with how he had played thus far, I didn't think he was the greatest. And this gold pump kind of gives me confidence in that. 30 is not a lot of damage, but taking the elongated mid-range fight with what I have isn't good. If I can shockwave on him and hit a decent pump, I'm chill with that. If I had like a green pump, I don't know if I would have thought about doing that as much, but I have such a dominant close range fighting setup right now that if I can get on people without taking much damage, we should win it, unless they just nuke me with the duels. This is bad. So I didn't get much damage on him there. And then also this SMG needed to be loaded. This is an AI, I think. We'll see if we can bait that other guy into pushing me off this. Yeah, he's up to that rock now. In the car. He's likely gonna know I moved up. I'm not feeling this. Okay, he doesn't know I moved up. I could have continued spraying there maybe, but... GG's. I don't want to full empty the mag mid-range, because as I just talked about, this SMG's reload kind of stinks. And so with the amount of damage I got, I'd rather just shock on it and get the kill, rather than maybe hitting another SMG shot or two, and then not having those little bit of SMG bullets. Because I had him weak enough to where I can one pump him when I get on him, which is all I need. But I'll save the bit of SMG ammo. That way, like, I can pump SMG and then back to pump if I don't kill in the first pump shot. I don't know how many SMG bullets I had left, but it wasn't many. But it would have been enough, I think, for, like, a swap to the SMG after a pump shot. So leaving that little bit of ammo, not only do I not have to reload before I push, but also I allow myself 2 pump shots in the fight quickly while outputting damage the entire time rather than just 1. If I had no ammo at all, and then shockwave on him, and then miss the shot with my pump, like, things are bad. I maybe survived to shoot a second pump shot, but you guys know how quickly the duelist can kill you. This is a zone that's not good for this SMG, but we've made it this far. I didn't really intend to use the SMG again. I used this setup last week, kind of. Thought I'd go back to the Deadeye. I do prefer using the Deadeye, but this has just been a game where I'd found the SMG off the rip, and then it's worked thus far. And like I did say a moment ago, like, this is a very good close range fighting setup if you are, like, confident with your pump. Like, obviously the duels are just very good as well, but pump and SMG, if you have decent aim, go quick. The biggest problem is not just range, but also the ammo of this gun. It's like the range and the ammo go one and the same, though, because in a lot of fights, you're going to be, like, full emptying your mag. Because it shoots so fast and because the range is so pitiful. But that was, like, almost 200 damage on that guy incredibly quick. The Deadeye probably would have been better to take, though. Like, that guy had Mythic Deadeye. Should I take it? We'll just use this. The guy on the tower, and this is like a time where this SMG stinks. 40 damage there. We got this car, though. This is a huge benefit. It's going to allow me to just kind of bypass this zone. Like I said, this area, this zone in this area creates, like, a lot of, like, long range stalemate fights, which is what I don't want with this SMG. The fact that we got this car allows me to just bypass this. We can just not exist in the bad time for my gun because that car is there. Otherwise, I would have had to use mobility to get here. And then the friendship bubble is also, like, helping me because I can just chill in here since I don't want to fight in this zone really anyways. And then now we're going to be into a more, like, smaller circle and, like, a city environment. And so that's going to be much better for my gun. We can just shotgun this guy and kill him. There's no early damage, but again, this is such a dominant close range setup. There's one in that bush. He had a bush on in the bush, I think. But yeah, this is such a dominant close range fighting setup that I was chill taking that fight again. That it might not be the greatest. Also, I didn't have the highest expectations for that player because they were just sitting on that tower. This is a problem. 2 players remain. I wish it was a 1v1 because then we would just know that this other guy's the last player. We know where he is. I'm like decently sure there's going to be somebody coming behind me. I feel like I kind of played that fight poorly. I should have got further away and then just SMG'd more. Because the arc lightning gun doesn't have the greatest range. And the fact that I was in that car, I could have kind of quickly got some distance between us. But like the entire time I just fought him in his ideal range. But it worked out for me eventually. But it kind of didn't. Like that, I should have died there to the third party. The third party, for some reason, chose to shoot at the knocked body rather than shooting at me. And they don't know that I'm one shot, but the player that's weak after a scuffed fight like that is so much more important than thirsting the knocked body. Even if that knocked body gets up, they're going to be at like 30 HP, so it's not very good. What are you doing, bro? I'm more worried about this lady than the other one. I think it's a guy, actually. Yeah, I was more worried about this person because the other one I have very weak. I just blew the car up on them. And it was the player that I just talked about that like let me get away while one shot because they made a bad choice about who to shoot at. So I don't have the highest expectations for this player. And so, yeah. I don't think they're as likely to third party me because I just did like 200 damage to them. And I also don't think they're as much of a threat. So I'd rather take the kill on the person that I think is more of a threat. Get them out of the game. And deal with this person after. Same thing I kind of talked about earlier. I reload early there. Because if we get into another kind of like trade of mid-range damage, I want to make sure that my SMG is loaded so that I can push off it if it like goes my way. Like I emptied like, I don't know, half my mag maybe. It's hard to keep track when you're shooting. But I emptied some of my mag. He goes back to cover, I go back to cover, I heal or I reload. That way I can do that same thing again and then also have extra ammo. It turned out that he didn't peek enough and then I was just like, I gotta push anyways, I'll go for it because zone's coming. But yeah, I think the most difficult thing with that SMG is just in those mid-range fights, you're going to burn through ammo so much without doing much damage. So like making sure it's reloaded when you get to the close range fight is very important. But that is going to be it for this video. As always, if you guys did find this to be helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.